What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cap Show. NFL Week 9 was awesome. Even though my trash Indianapolis Colts are complete garbage, they lost on Sunday Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings, and it's just part of life, right? I mean, I look at the Colts. They just continue to make draft mistakes after draft mistakes. I mean, they drafted Anthony Richardson 4th overall. They recently benched him for Joe Flacco, who won the Super Bowl back in 2013-14 with the Baltimore Ravens. And it's like, are we really leaning on Joe Flacco right now? I mean, it sucks, man. It sucks being a Colts fan right now. I realize we're going to miss the playoffs yet again this year. We failed Anthony Richardson. I think they could have handled that much differently. And I'm just looking at, the whole Indianapolis Colts organization. I mean, it's pathetic. They haven't been good since the release of Peyton Manning, and that's the reality of it. They went through so many quarterbacks to get to this point right now to say, Anthony Richardson might not be it. And it's just like, really, bro? We drafted him 4th overall. We're just going to let him go like that after 1.5 seasons? Like, it's crazy to me. I think they're really failing Anthony Richardson right now. I think they could have handled it much differently. And just I don't know. I don't know what to think about the Colts. All I know is the reality is going to set in for Indianapolis Colts fans that we will miss the playoffs yet again this year, just like we did last year. It sucks, man. It really does. But hats off to the Minnesota Vikings, man. And Justin Jefferson, the best receiver in the league, 7 receptions, 137 yards receiving. It's just what Justin Jefferson does, man. Like, he's the best receiver in the league, the highest paid receiver for a reason. And it's games like this. It's just he eats on everybody. That's what he does, man. So shout out to Justin Jefferson, the best receiver in the league. Shout out to the Minnesota Vikings getting the big win at home on Sunday Night Football. The best team in the NFL right now is the Detroit Lions. Yes, the Detroit Lions are the best team in the NFL. I never thought I would say that. I used to say Detroit Lions are trash, they're garbage, but they're not. They're 7-1 right now. Their only loss is to Tampa. They have the best running back duo in the NFL right now with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Those two guys, nobody can stop them. It's crazy how great their offensive line is. They have an experienced veteran quarterback in Jared Goff, St. Brown, Sam Laporta, and not to mention how good their secondary is getting on defense. Even though Branch went out with a hit in the first quarter, which I thought was kind of soft. I mean, that's kind of how football is now. It's getting more soft each and every single year. It's like, man, like the safeties had to put on big hits on the receivers. That's part of the NFL. But now it's changing so much where, if he leads with his head, we're going to eject him. It's like, really, bro? Like, they should have never ejected Branch, man. I just thought it was kind of soft in a way, but Detroit still found a way to win in Lambeau Field. And they got it done, 24-14. Made it look pretty easy. They really did. Jordan Love had 0 touchdown passes with 1 interception. So hats off to the Detroit Lions defense on that one. And St. Brown had a tutty. It was all Detroit here. And I'm looking at Detroit head coach Dan Campbell and realizing, man, they are the number 1 team right now. They still have a sour taste in their mouth from last season when they lost in the playoffs against the San Francisco 49ers. We remember that. They're up at halftime. They blew the lead, and ultimately they did not go to the Super Bowl. And San Francisco went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. So I just think this year, this team right now, led by head coach Dan Campbell and company, I do think Detroit Lions are legit. They're a team that's going to go to the Super Bowl this year. That's my team right now. I'm looking at Detroit Lions and realizing they're going to win their division, and they're going to roll. They're going to go all the way to the Super Bowl this year. I'm telling you right now, they have the talent, they have the smart coaches around them, and the discipline to do it. So Detroit Lions are definitely my team to go on that side. And then obviously probably Kansas City or Baltimore. One of the two. Those are my Super Bowl matchups after Week 9 this week. That's just my prediction, but hats off to Detroit Lions winning in Lambeau Field. And then we got the Miami Dolphins losing to the Buffalo Bills, in a heartbreaking fashion. Shout out to Tyler Bass drilling a 61-yard field goal for the game. So, like, Tyler Bass typically misses some kicks, but not this one. Not when it mattered most. He came in the clutch. They won 30-27, and it's typical Miami Dolphins. They're 2-6 this year. Like I said from the beginning of the year, they're a great convertible coming off the lot. As soon as you drive it off the lot, it depreciates in value. That's the Miami Dolphins. They just continue to appreciate in value. That's just who they are. They suck, man. They're a nice car, but the inside, it's all trash. That's what the Miami Dolphins are. And the Buffalo Bills, they are 7-2. Josh Allen is in postseason form right now. 235 yards passing with 3 touchdowns, only 1 pick. You had Ray Davis, the second backup, running back. He had 70 yards and a touchdown. From Kentucky, I knew this kid was going to be great. He's going to be a great running back in the NFL. I can't wait to see the future for Ray Davis. It's going to be awesome. But as far as the Miami Dolphins and Tua go, they suck, man. They really do. I mean, Tua had 2 touchdowns. I get it. Tyreek Hill had 4 receptions, 80 yards. That's an okay stat for Tyreek, but it's just been a bad year for the Miami Dolphins. And it started with when Tyreek got arrested. I think that was week 1 or week 2. It sucks, man. Ever since that incident happened with Tyreek in the Miami Police Department, they just fell downhill. You know, look at the record. They're 2-6 right now. They're on the outside looking in. Their season's over with. The Miami Dolphins will not make the playoffs this year. That's it, man. And Buffalo's just own the Miami Dolphins. They literally have. They beat them so many times. It's ridiculous, dude. And shout out to Josh Allen, man. I'm telling you right now, the Buffalo Bills are another scary team. They're a team that's going to have to get over the hump, though, in the playoffs. They're a team that's going to have to beat Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. So, like, if you're Josh Allen, you have a big, big hill to climb. You really do. So, it's going to be interesting to see how that develops. But shout out to the shout out to the Buffalo Bills running right through the trash Miami Dolphins. And then we got the Baltimore Ravens running right through the Denver Broncos, 41-10. It was all Lamar Jackson, man. Lamar Jackson just torched them up with 280 yards passing with 3 touchdowns. Derrick Henry had 2 touchdowns. Zay Flowers had 2 touchdowns. It was all it was all Baltimore in this matchup. It really was. And we look at Baltimore Ravens, they're 6-3 right now with Lamar Jackson. The way he's playing like he's going to win another MVP in the NFL. Like, let's be honest here. He's the number 1 rated quarterback on fantasy, averaging like 37 points a game. Just give the MVP to Lamar Jackson right now. It's just part of it. Or Derrick Henry, one of the two. But I'd lean more towards Lamar Jackson. Just what he's done this year, it's been incredible. And same thing with Lamar, similar to Josh Allen. He's going to have to get over the postseason hump as well. He's going to have to beat a guy like Patrick Mahomes in the NFL. I mean, the Ravens had him last year at home against Patrick Mahomes, and they lost. So I just think Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, they got to look in the mirror and realize, hey, we can have great seasons and all and win all these awards, but at the end of the day, it comes down to Super Bowls. Like, we're going to have to go to the Super Bowl. So Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are already locked in. They look like they're already ready for the postseason. So I can't wait to see Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson in company in postseason form with Derrick Henry. It's going to be awesome, man. I'm telling you right now. Take off, Ravens. Let's go. And then we got the LA Chargers versus the Cleveland Browns. Chargers ran right through the Cleveland Browns, 27-10. Dobbins, he just ran right through him, 85 yards with 2 tutties. You had Johnston had a touchdown. Nick Chubb only had 39 yards rushing. Jameis Winston got back to reality with 3 interceptions. Jameis Winston's trash. He really is, man. I can't believe it, dude. He's complete garbage. I can't believe he's still in the NFL right now. Pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy, but shout out to Justin Herbert, 282 yards passing with 2 tutties. The Chargers ran right through the Cleveland Browns, and that's just how it goes. Sometimes in Cleveland, they're 2-7. They're trash, man. The Browns are absolutely garbage. Shout out to the Chargers. Shout out to Harbaugh. They're continuing to put W's in the column. That's all that matters right now in the regular season. And then we got the New Orleans Saints losing to the Carolina Panthers 22-23 in a heartbreaking fashion. Both teams are 2-7. We realize Derek Carr is kind of trash. I mean, yeah, 1 touchdown, but you can't even beat the Carolina Panthers. Both teams are done. Both teams will not make the playoffs this year, so it's irrelevant. I mean, Bryce Young, a touchdown and a pick. Hubbard had 2 touchdowns, but, you know, it sucks, man. I mean, Kamara had 155 yards rushing on 29 carries, but the Saints, man, they have so much talent. I can't believe they're 2-7 right now. Like, that's crazy, dude. You guys are 2-7. Same thing as Carolina Panthers. You guys are garbage, bro. You guys are complete trash. It's terrible, man. It really sucks how trash they are, dude. It sucks, man. But shout out to Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers getting their 2nd win all year this season. Hats off to the Carolina Panthers. They'll be in the Super Bowl this year. I can't wait to see that happen. And then we got the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Cincinnati Bengals. This was my lock pick all weekend. I had Cincinnati 100%. I put my life on it because I knew the Cincinnati Bengals would win, and they cashed out. Joe Burrow had his best game all season with 5 touchdowns, only 1 pick. Chase Brown, 120 yards rushing. It was all Cincinnati here. And we look at the Raiders, they're probably arguably the worst team in the NFL. They have Minshew as their quarterback, dude. Like, Minshew out of all people, he's a backup quarterback, dude. And he's starting for the Las Vegas Raiders like they're going to do something. They're trash. They're complete garbage. They really are. But I knew the Cincinnati Bengals would win. They needed this win. Now the Cincinnati Bengals are 4-5 right now, and they go into Baltimore on Thursday night. So it's not going to get any easier for the Cincinnati Bengals. So Joe Burrow and company, they're gonna have to do something different here. And Jamar Chase been quiet the past couple weeks. I think this is the game where Jamar Chase needs to eat on the Baltimore Ravens. You're just gonna have to. And the Bengals need to go at 5-5 because Joe Burrow and company, man, they're talking about the Super Bowl or bust. So it's like, man, you guys are 4-5, still below 500 right now. You need to start winning big games. And this is a huge game coming up in Baltimore. So I can't wait for that matchup. But a huge win this weekend for the Cincinnati Bengals, man. Take off Joe Burrow, 5 tutties. Let's go! And then we got the Washington Commanders beating the New York Giants 27-22. It's crazy, man. Shout out to Jayden Daniels, the rookie, 7-2 right now. Nobody, even the Washington Commander fans, never would have thought that they'd be 7-2 right now. No way in heck, dude. They thought they'd be 2-7 right now, but Jayden Daniels, 209 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. This year, Jayden Daniels has 9 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, about 2,000 yards passing. I mean, as a rookie coming in, he should have been the number 1 overall, dude. Jayden Daniels, man, I'm telling you, he was slept on this draft. He was slept on. Like, it's crazy, dude. Like, are you serious? Jayden Daniels, 9 tutties, only 2 picks as a freaking rookie. Like, man, that's crazy, man. Shout out to Jayden Daniels, man, and they're going right through it. And I get it. You're playing the trash New York Giants and all. Daniel Jones is actually playing nice. He had 2 touchdowns, had some good runs here and there, but overall, I'm looking at the Washington Commanders and saying Jayden Daniels is the X factor there. He's the reason they're 7-2. He's the reason that they're making big noise in Washington right now. So it's like, holy cow. I never would have thought that the Washington Commanders would be 7-2 right now. And we're talking about Jayden Daniels in the MVP conversation with Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen and company. I can't believe it. I really can't, but shout out to Washington Commanders. Shout out to Jayden Daniels, man. What a time to be alive as a Washington Commander fans. You guys been trashed for so long, since like the RG3 days back when they were called the Washington Redskins. So everybody was like, oh, that's super racist, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, man, like, come on, dude. It's crazy. Just America's changing in a completely different way. But back then with RG3, when RG3 came in as a rookie, he had a great rookie season. He ended up getting hurt in the playoffs, I think the Seattle Seahawks in that game. But it's part of it. Then ever since after RG3's rookie year, really didn't pan out to be, as we thought RG3 would pan out to be in the NFL. Being a Heisman winner in college, coming in strong rookie year, just didn't pan out. But ever since then, they haven't been good since the RG3 rookie season's what I'm saying. So the Washington Commanders, man, with Jayden Daniels, man, they're making big noise. So shout out to Jayden Daniels in the MVP conversation as a rookie. He will win Rookie of the Year. There's no doubt about it. Like, if Jayden Daniels does not win Rookie of the Year, it's rigged. It really is, because he needs to win Rookie of the Year. Shout out to Jayden Daniels. What a win on the road. And then we got the trash Dallas Cowboys losing to Atlanta Falcons 21-27. Dak Prescott ends up getting hurt. This might be a blessing in disguise for the Dallas Cowboys, because I've been saying this for 3 years now, that Dak Prescott is not your guy. He just isn't, man. He's another Tony Romo. And what did Tony Romo do in Dallas? Nothing. So, like, what are we talking about here? Like, Dak Prescott is trash. I don't know why Jerry Jones gave Dak Prescott the bag, because it didn't make sense to me. We're talking about Dak Prescott. We're talking about a guy who's won 2 playoff games his whole career in Dallas. Like, dude, this is crazy, man. Like, I feel bad for CeeDee Lamb having to go through all this headache here, because they just look trash, man. The Dallas Cowboys are who they thought they were. They're prima donnas. They shouldn't even be televised anymore. They're in a lot of primetime games because, oh, we're the Dallas Cowboys and we have a star on our helmet. You guys have been trash since the 90s, dude. You guys really haven't been relevant since the 90s. And you guys are all like, oh, look at our uniforms. We're great. We're the star. No, you're not. The Dallas Cowboys have been trashed, man. You guys are rubbish. You guys suck. And you guys are probably going to miss the playoffs this year. Like, let that settle in. The reality's about to hit for Jerry Jones this offseason. And he's going to realize, man, bro, why did I pay Dak Prescott? Why did I pay a mid-quarterback at best this bag of money? Like, what does he get, like 50, 60 M's a year? Like, it's crazy, man. Dak Prescott is complete garbage, man. But shout out to Atlanta Falcons. They're the real deal this year. 6-3. You got Kirk Cousins having a great season this year. So, shout out to Kirk Cousins. Even though I do think he's still kind of mid, he's having a good season. 17 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions, over 2,300 yards passing. So, Kirk Cousins is putting up good numbers. But my thing is with Kirk Cousins is once he gets in the playoffs, you know, he starts to shrivel up. You know, it's part of it, man. Kirk Cousins is just not that type of guy, man. He's just not. I mean, yeah, he's playing in Atlanta. What they do? Like, what, dude? What are you guys going to do come playoff time? Like, please. I can't wait to see what develops in. I can't wait to see how Kirk Cousins plays when the big boys come out in the playoffs. So that's going to be interesting. But like I said, Kirk Cousins is not a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's just not. He's a good regular season quarterback. Good regular season form. That's great. But to win you a Super Bowl, Kirk Cousins ain't the guy. But shout out to Atlanta Falcons, 6-3, continue to roll. Hopefully, you know, they elevate in the playoffs this year. And then we got the trash New England Patriots losing in overtime to the Tennessee Titans, 17-20, and it's typical. That's just how it is. I mean, we look at the Patriots and realize ever since the GOAT Tom Brady left, they've been nobodies. But Drake May, he is nice, man. This quarterback, he put the team on his back. He had 1 touchdown, 2 picks, and we saw the last second touchdown in regular time before the overtime, threw it up to Stevenson. It was just a like box play, but he extended the play. So I love the heart for Drake May for the Patriots, but the Patriots are 2-7. And we look at the Tennessee Titans, they're 2-6. Mason Rudolph had 2 touchdowns and a pick. Tony Pollard had 28 carries, 128 yards rushing, and then ultimately Tennessee Titans won in overtime. But both teams will not make the playoffs this year. Both teams are mid, and it's crazy this NFL season in 2024 that there's so many trash teams in the NFL. I mean, you got the Saints, you have even the Bears are trash. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars that are trash. You have the Dallas Cowboys that are trash. The Las Vegas Raiders are trash. The Carolina Panthers are trash. The Cleveland Browns are trash. The New Orleans Saints are trash. Like, there's so many teams that are trash. It's crazy. My Indianapolis Colts are trash. The Miami Dolphins are trash. There's like 15 teams that are trash this year in the NFL. Like, a lot of the times, it's not like that. A lot of times, it's like 4 or 5 teams that are trash. There's way more this year. It's crazy how it is, man. But shout out to the Tennessee Titans getting a big win at home over the trash New England Patriots. And then we got the Chicago Trash Bears versus the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals put it on them, 29-9. The Cardinals right now are 5-4. They're a game above 500. And that's pretty nice if you're Arizona right now. The way the season started, just a little shaky. Kyler Murray's back in the win column, 154 yards passing. James Conner had over 100 yards rushing. And this was the game where Arizona needed to win. And I'm looking at the Chicago Bears. You guys are 4-4. Just a little shaky. I don't believe in the Chicago Bears this year whatsoever. I don't, but shout out to the Arizona Cardinals. I believe in them. I believe in Kyler Murray and company. I do. And they have Marvin Harrison Jr., and I think them two can still improve, still get better on that duo. So I still think that Marvin Harrison Jr. deserves more targets than what he does a game. So shout out to the Arizona Cardinals. Shout out to Kyler Murray getting a big win at home. Now they're 5-4. Let's go, Arizona. Woo! And then we got the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Philadelphia Eagles. 28-3. Philly, 28-23 was the final score. Philadelphia did everything they could to lose this game. I mean, they gave up 16 points in the third quarter alone. And I'm looking at their head coach. Dude, he's trash, man. Shaharian, dude, he always looks mad, man. He's just garbage, bro. Some of his coaching is coaching not to lose. You play to win the game. Like, I don't understand what it is with Philadelphia right now, but I saw the craziest run I've ever seen by Saquon Barkley. He broke this guy off, spun. He did a reverse hurdle. He did a backwards hurdle over this dude wearing old school LeBrons. Like, that is crazy. Shout out to Saquon Barkley. Him and Derrick Henry are the best running backs in the NFL right now. It's no question about it. Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, best running backs. And we look at Saquon and realize, man, the New York Giants fumbled the bag on this one. Like, how are you guys going to give away Saquon Barkley? Arguably the most talented running back in the NFL today. Probably the best running back pound for pound. Yes, I like Derrick Henry. He always dominates. But what I've seen from Saquon, just his explosiveness, his ability to make people miss, his ability to hurdle people like we saw last night. Like, Saquon is really that dude. And that hurdle was just absolutely crazy, man. It's just insane. But Devontae Smith had a crazy game this game, dude. It was all Philly, even though Philly almost gave away this game. It really did. But Jalen Hurts had 2 touchdowns. Saquon had 159 yards rushing and a tutty. You know, you had Devontae Smith, 87 yards receiving and a touchdown. Trevor Lawrence is garbage. 2 interceptions. It's typical Trevor Lawrence, man. Trevor Lawrence has 11 touchdowns this year and 6 picks. And what's their record? 2-7, dude. Jacksonville, they're done. Trevor Lawrence is done. And I'm looking at Philly. Yes, they're 6-2 right now. But I'm looking at Philly and realizing, well, I mean, are you guys really good? You guys gave up 16 points in the third quarter to the trash Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, I'm looking at their head coach. He's always looking pissed off. And it's like, man, like, well, call better plays. Like, call better plays. Don't play not to lose. Play to win the game. So I'm still worried about Philadelphia Eagles. I really am. Just the way they're coaching. A.J. Brown, always injury prone. He's hurt again. So it's just like, that doesn't surprise me as well. And Philly goes into Dallas next weekend. So that's a rivalry in its own. So it's going to be interesting to see how Philadelphia pans out. But I'm not really, like, surprised. I'm not happy and thrilled about Philadelphia Eagles this season. I'm not. Even though they're 6-2, it's just like, well, some of these games you guys have won have been really close, and some of the play calls have been questionable. Like, you guys should have won 28-3 this game, not 28-23. Like, you know, there's a difference there. So I'm looking at Philly, and they got to work on a lot of different things if they want to go to the Super Bowl like they did a couple years ago. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. And then, like I said, the Detroit Lions are the best team in the NFL. They ran right through the Green Bay Packers. Dan Campbell and company, I'm telling you, it's going to be Detroit versus either Kansas City or the Baltimore Ravens. That's my prediction right now. Now, obviously, that could change, but I love Detroit coming out. I do, man. Detroit is that team. They are legit. Shout out to the head coach, Dan Campbell, Detroit Lions, man. They are the #1 team in the NFL right now. And I get it. Kansas City's undefeated. They're going for a 3-peat right now. But what I've seen from eye test, from just how great their team is, give me Detroit right now. Give me Detroit Lions. I'll take them all day. The best duo running back in the NFL. Give me Detroit Lions. And then we got the LA Rams beating the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle in overtime, 28-20. This game was crazy, right? We saw Puka Nacua go out in the first half because he threw a punch. I never thought I'd see Puka Nacua throw a punch. Like, really, I just didn't think Puka was like that. It was just, I don't know. Somebody got in his head, and it worked out. Matt Stafford, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Cooper Kupp, 11 receptions, over 100 yards receiving. And Geno Smith had 3 touchdowns and 3 picks. Geno Smith, like I said, is not the guy in Seattle. If Seattle wants to win another Super Bowl, it's not with Geno Smith. They're going to have to draft a rookie quarterback next year and just, start from scratch because Geno Smith is average at best. Let's be honest here. That's just how it is. Smith and Jigba went crazy. 7 receptions, 180 yards receiving, and 2 tutties. Just went insane, dude. So shout out to Smith and Jigba. Just went crazy. Even though they lost, he put up crazy fantasy points. But shout out to Matt Stafford and company. The LA Rams, led by Sean McVay, a great coach that he is. They are 4-4 right now. How their season started, you would have thought the Rams would miss the playoffs. But right now, they're bounced back. They are 4-4. Shout out to Sean McVay and the LA Rams. Wow, what a time to be alive. And then the Sunday Night Football, like I said, my trash Indianapolis Colts always find ways to lose. Jonathan Taylor fumbled the ball, on the first drive, and that's when I knew the Colts were going to lose the game. The opening drive, we need to score a touchdown, and our best player fumbles the ball. Like, you can't make this up. You really can't, man. You cannot make it up. And then we got the Monday Night Football game, Tampa Bay and Kansas City. I think Kansas City's going to roll. They're 7-0 at home against, Buccaneers are a good team, 4-4, but Mike Evans is out. Chris Godwin's out for the season. So I think this is the game where Kansas City's going to be 8-0 halfway through the season, looking to 3-peat. The only team to ever do in NFL history if the Kansas City Chiefs win this year. So it's a huge possibility. Travis Kelce, I think he's going to eat on Monday Night Football, man. I cannot wait. But the pound-for-pound best teams, Detroit Lions right now, Kansas City, then I'll go with the Ravens right now. So, it's amazing. Shout out to the NFL, man. Shout out to the freaking Cloudaway Cab Show. Let's go!